to SCTV for ScreeningClub.com, where we break down the latest in television entertainment each week for you. I am here, as always, with my two associates, my brother Chris and our good friend Mike. How are you guys doing? You ready to talk some TV?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's it going?
Pretty well. Pretty well. It's been it's been another week without DS, without Designated Survivor, which I'll talk about later. But still, some good stuff this week.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys enjoy what you saw?
Yeah, it's been a fun week.
Mostly.
Anything else going on this week?
Yeah, I think I might want to share a little experience I had this past week.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I know last week you helped our good friend Tony move, right?
Yes, this one was far more harrowing, and that's saying something.
My God.
Wow.
So this past Monday night, I was on dinner break at work.
Okay.
Up in Concord, and on my way back, I figured I'd stop into Dunkin' Donuts for a little. What'd I get? Just a coffee and a donut.
Little tasty treat.
Little tasty treat on my way back to work.
Sure.
And as I'm parking my car, I notice in my rear view mirror this mad woman flailing her arms back and forth, like sort of pacing back and forth in the parking lot.
She was losing control.
And I just think, oh God. So
God.
I get out of my car and walk into the Dunkin' Donuts, and as I'm doing that, she shouts from across the parking lot, "Hey, what's the time?"
Oh my God.
Did you give her the time?
I looked at my phone and I told her the time. It was 8 o'clock. And then she starts rambling about how she needs a ride and she has cab fare. Yada, yada, yada. I could hardly make out what she was saying, but I got the gist that she wanted a ride from me and she was willing to pay me cab fare. And I just sort of froze for a minute, and then it popped into my mind. I suggested to her, I'm sure if you were to go into this Dunkin' Donuts and ask to use their phone, they'd be happy to do that, and you could call a cab for yourself.
You just pawned the crazy woman off on Dunkin' Donuts?
And she said she made up some random excuse about how the money she had wouldn't be enough for a cab, but it would be enough to solicit me for a ride. And then I said, I'm sorry, I can't help you, and I walked inside.
Well, thank God, because, I mean, I think clearly she was trying to get you to pay the difference and give her money.
And just one small part to add to this, after I got my coffee, I made a mental note as I was walking back to my car to be ready. If she were to like lunge at me or attack me, to be ready to throw my scalding hot coffee in her face, like as a defense
good call.
tactic.
Good call.
So I was ready to do that. Luckily, it didn't come to that. She was gone.
She was
And
gone.
I drove back to work.
She was probably dead.
Yeah.
I was thinking the end of the story would be it came full circle. The crazy woman was our friend Tony. I was thinking there was like a decent chance that was going to be the end, because we know Tony has done
I didn't
stuff
get
like
a
that
good
before.
glimpse of her face, so I'm not ruling it out.
That's it's a scary moment.
my story.
You know, it's not the first time that I've been solicited in a parking lot by some random person for a ride.
Wow.
Yeah, probably won't be the last.
Maybe you just had that look about you.
I just had that look, like that just sucker written across my
This
face.
man gives rides.
You know what? I've got some late night solicitation in parking lot stories myself, which I'll save for a later date. But if we want to start sharing stories like that, I've got a couple to share. But
wait a second. How did she feel about this week's American Horror Story? That's the real question.
She, I think, probably would fit in. In that mob. Like,
it
crazy
sounds
ghost
like
mob.
it. In my opinion, that along with your scolding hot coffee, showing her American Horror Story would have been an effective way to scare her away too. Because I didn't think it was great. Let's talk about it. Now I know in Mike's most recent article on ScreeningClub.com, you mentioned you've been impressed. Now, I wasn't that impressed last week. Really, it's been going downhill week by week for me. But you did mention you were afraid of it going downhill for you moving forward. What did you think?
At any moment, the show has the capacity to do that, to just completely shoot itself in the foot, drive off a cliff, and that would be the end. I thought it was an okay episode, probably the weakest entry in this new like revitalized chapter of the show. But all in all, I thought it was pretty solid. It had its moments of terror, of horror, of intrigue. I think it sagged a little bit in the middle. I thought you could sense it was sort of just stretching out this plot to sort of get through to the final chapter, which I think is next week. But all in all, it's not the finale next week, but we've been sort of it's been hinted at by the creators of the show that episode 10 is going to be something entirely different than these batch of episodes.
You know, I was wondering just how anything was going to happen. Like, when this second half of the season started, and they sort of announced what was going to happen, that everyone was going to die, I wondered, how are we going to fill up five episodes? And this week, I think we got the answer, which is we're going to agonizingly stretch out pointlessly, like, certain things for full episodes. And we spent the entire, well, not the entire time, but the majority of the time in this episode in the Hillbilly family house.
Right.
With Lee and Audrey and Renee stuck in the house and going through a whole series of gruesome stuff and
it definitely didn't advance this plot forward. I think we can say it kind of stalled. It did give us the Lee confession. That was sort of like the baseline purpose behind this entire thing was to get that to that moment.
Which makes me wonder if maybe are we going to have any switches in our screen bets about who's going to be the one to survive now that we know
both of our screen bets fell flat on each face, on their face, because we each character that we bet died this past week.
Didn't I bet Dominic?
He died.
Dominic died.
He died at the very end of the episode with the pigman.
No, the very end of the episode is when fake pigman comes.
That was the very end of the episode, yes. But right before that, when they were upstairs, right outside the bathroom, Pigman lunges at Dominic and cuts him up.
This sounds very confusing.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I missed out on that. You can tell
that was actually a pretty tense moment.
For this episode.
That was probably the scariest moment of the episode. Pigman, it was a very effective jump scare with Pigman.
I thought
lunges out at the end.
I saw all this. Pigman came out and they killed him, didn't they?
I don't remember if they killed Pigman, but Pigman certainly killed
Dominic. Is dead.
Dominic is dead.
Oh my god!
Right outside the bathroom where Shelby killed herself.
Man, I was still thinking I had Dominic as a good scream bet.
No. So now we're down to 3 between Lee, Audrey, and I forget what Angela Bassett's character's name is.
Oh my god! Well,
although at the very last scene of the episode was Wes Bentley. He made his return, which... Ugh.
I know, you are not a fan. And there's a lot to be said about that, too, about what was going on. Was all the stuff outside just... It wasn't fake, though, was it? Right?
Well, because he was fake. He's an actor.
Yeah, but the butcher was there, and she killed Kathy Bates.
Well, this was during the daytime, so I don't think they're as much of a threat during the daytime as they are during, like, the blood moon.
Yeah, what's probably going to happen, he just showed up. He was going to be a role to play, right?
That actually would make sense. He was probably hired by
Yeah.
Sydney to serve as one of the fake horror moments.
I can't believe I missed the Dominic death. Now it's got to be Lee. Lee is going to survive. I didn't miss a Lee death, did I?
No, she's still alive and mostly well.
She's just now that we know that she's not. This is exactly what's going to happen. We know that she's not who we want to live anymore. She's going to live, and the last episode is going to be us seeing if it comes out that she was the actual killer. That's what it's going to be.
2 more.
It's all you have to suffer through.
You could tell how into it I was. Did you think it was going to be Shelby who lived?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, she took care of that herself.
It was probably for the best. She was one of the more insufferable characters. I did love just the sheer moments of self-indulgence and self-congratulations on the part of Audrey, the actress who played Shelby in the reenactment. I thought it was really funny when she thought her life was about to end. She was sort of speaking directly to the camera, speaking to her audience, crying about how she had so many more performances to give to her devoted fan base.
She had a couple of good lines about just like yelling about how she really knows Shelby. Like
she knows her better than she knows herself.
Yeah.
Like, no way would that woman so self-centered kill herself.
God, let me tell you, just another though, like just example of how this episode just existed to stretch out just trash. I don't know. The interaction between Lee and the hillbilly son, whose name was Jether, which I remember and didn't remember Dominic being killed. They have this whole back and forth. We get like the backstory of the son. We get like this whole sort of like this guy might be able to redeem himself, and then he's just done because this whole episode is bullshit. Like, come on.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I also struggled with just the cameras, the sheer amount of cameras that were
in the hillbilly
that they had at their disposal to sort of cut back and forth of. Like, are those just part of the hillbilly commune, or were those placed by the production crew? Did they sneak into this hillbilly barn, plant all these hidden cameras?
I think my favorite
part... They had a
lot
of angles and a lot of different camera positions to cut back and forth.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, I felt it was just rubbing it in our face that they didn't give a shit, because it was just... We'd get, like, the crappy cell phone angle, and then it would just cut to this perfect shot. Like, oh, and here's the absolutely perfect shot, but remember, we're still pretending we're using the found footage, so here's, like, this crappy angle. Like, it was just rubbing it in our face.
This would have made so much more sense. It would have served this whole story so much better if they just carried, like, hidden cameras on themselves, hidden body cameras.
Like the Dominic cam.
Like Dominic. That would have been problem solved. Everyone has a camera on themselves. Yeah. Like,
Dominic had
instead of just waving around their cell phone and /flashlight at everything that pops up at them.
I will say my favorite part of the episode by far was just experiencing everyone getting redemption on the hillbilly family. Like, just, I really wish they would have, for all the BS that they stretched out in this episode, I wish that they stretched out the killing of the hillbilly mom. That was so, I wanted her tortured. They tortured so much in this episode, but she just gets pretty much an instant death. She's bludgeoned in the head, and then lies on the floor laughing for like 10 seconds, and then gets impaled to death. Right. What I would have loved for, tying her down and making her atone for all the stuff that she's been shoving in their face.
Yep.
Like, but I mean, we got a little bit of it. It was just there wasn't a lot going on. It was just there to fill. It was filler, Mike.
Yeah, definitely didn't advance the plot as much as I would have hoped. I wasn't as down as you. I think there was plenty of interesting beats throughout the episode.
Well, I think someone like you that's lived part of this in real life at Dunkin' Donuts at 8 p.m. in Concord, you have more of a real life taste of what's going on in the hillbilly house that I can't relate to.
I have that ability to relate more to what they're going through. So
exactly. Well, we'll see what happens next week. Still, come on, it's a bit rough, right? We can both admit it's a bit rough.
A bit rough.
But still better than other seasons.
Who's your new update for your screen bet?
I mean, you gotta go Lee, right? She's the only other character that we could possibly be rooting for to survive.
Who's even left? It's
Shelby and Angie Bissett.
No, Shelby's done.
I mean, not Shelby. Audrey.
Yeah. Audrey. Yeah, I would bet Lee too. So we'll both mark down Lee. Unless, I mean, maybe you were the one that was wrong about Dominic's death. We'll see.
I don't think so. He was dead.
Sorry. That's too bad. Anyway.
Must have fell asleep.
It wasn't difficult to do if I did. Let's move on to something a little bit more joyous. Let's talk about Atlanta. What do you guys think about this week's episode? The season finale.
Yeah, I loved the season finale. I thought it was a great end cap to the season, and just a little, you get a little bit more. It was really focused on Ern, even more than even the past episodes. They had a lot more Ern than regular. You just kind of delve into his personal life a little bit more. I thought it was really, it had the inventive, creative stuff that past episodes have too, with like following the breadcrumbs of Snapchat, which is really inventive. And then it also did push the story forward a little bit with one line about Paperboy going on tour.
Yep.
Just a brief mention. So my quasi-screen bet from last week that there would be a push forward in Paperboy's career. Chris's artificial screen bet that he pushed on us last
Well, it was a
week,
prediction
yeah.
if it wasn't an official screen bet.
Go.
Either way, I love that episode. What do you guys think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was as much of a classic throwback episode of this show as possible. I know we've only had 10 episodes, but it just, we had our core set of characters all together, all sort of striving towards one particular goal in mind, getting back Ern's jacket. It was just great to see them all together. Just having those dynamics at play is always fun. And thought it was great. A great way to close out this really awesome season.
It was so right from the get-go with Ern waking up in the aftermath of the party, and the party host pulls out some classic lines.
He kept repeating that same just like
sentence
pattern
structure
of phrasing.
It's like, I know y'all, but I don't know y'all.
You know?
You know?
I know you're X to me, but you ain't X to me. Right?
You know?
You know? Oh my god.
Oh, and then complaining someone set the trash can on fire, which Al later admits to. Someone poured beer in his Brita pitcher. It was just good. It was good right from the beginning. And then, just all the little things like I was thinking about. Free chicken sandwich day. We get to experience right when Ern leaves the party. Everyone's dressed up like a chicken to get free chicken.
At first, I thought it was like, oh, is this a Halloween episode?
That's what I was thinking too.
Like,
but then I saw everyone was dressed
Halloween
up
episode?
like a chicken.
Yeah, cow. You mean?
And then another negative interaction with the club bouncer.
Yeah.
Yep.
You notice every interaction with a bouncer is negative.
It's true.
Hey,
Darius
they're
has
negative people.
No, Chris. No, nice thing to say. And that's not the view of this podcast. But just really, lots of cool stuff going on. When Mike, like you mentioned about them all searching for the jacket. I mean, that was classic Atlanta insanity with they're all sitting on the couch chilling, and then they call the Uber driver who wants the $50 to return the jacket. Now, I don't know about you guys. I wasn't sure where that was going to go because something, it was eerie when they were all sitting in that car and you saw, so they get the news about him going on tour, but then Paperboy looks like...
Yeah, the Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense at work. He's seen this before.
He's a true gangster.
I sort of thought, someone like one of them was going to get.
Yeah, that could have happened.
I thought Paperboy was about to meet his end, meet his maker.
It got real quick. It was like, I think there's some social commentary to be given about that scene with a bunch of police just taking down a man.
Obviously, yeah, but I think even obviously it shows how people feel about brutality and how quick things can get so gruesome.
Did we learn of why he was? I forget. Why was that man wanted by the police?
Drugs.
Was it?
Because when the police show up and they stop the car, they were like, "Were you attempting to or colluding with this guy to buy drugs? Do you have any drugs on you?" They just gun him down.
Just take him out, and
while he's wearing Ern's jacket,
and the guy just. The policeman take him down, take him out.
Yeah,
that was so brutal.
Really gruesome.
He's just running away. He's unarmed. He's not a threat. He's running away.
But also in
sad.
In a perverse way, I bet in season 2 that could actually act as like a boon to Paperboy's career. Like he's played this role in this drug bust gone wrong.
It definitely could, or they'll just never mention it
we'll
ever
never
again.
Hear of this again.
Yeah, most likely.
Man.
Yeah. But also super sad at the end, obviously.
I was partaking in some discussion on Reddit and mentioning I knew it was a pipe dream for this to be the Darius episode. Man, how much I would love for season 2 to just let's open strong with Darius.
Well, Jeff, it's sad because Darius is dead now, so he can't.
Oh, come on! Darius
Jeff missed that. Jeff missed that as well.
Oh, Jeff!
God, you're 2 for 2 today.
Big man. While I wasn't looking.
2 for 2 today.
No. I'll tell you one thing. I was watching this a little bit closer than I was watching American Horror Story. I'll tell you that right now. And just. The crazy thing happens, and then just moves on. Tries to get stuff from the jacket. I mean, isn't there something to be said? These 3 men have now become witness to an unjust murder of an unarmed man. That,
I think something to be said of that. That's probably that happens all too often in Atlanta.
Nothing Paperboy hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, man.
But I thought it showed how good of a father Ern's trying to be, how he gets this giant wad of cash from Paperboy, and he gives it all to his daughter, and then find...
Yeah, he didn't give
he
it
took
all.
But either way, he could have taken more and bought a place to live.
Sad note to end on. The whole reason he needed that jacket was for the key to get into that storage unit where he's now apparently living.
I know, that was sort of... That
trying
to
do it on his own, I guess.
Also, there was a little bit he didn't really look sad. He looked pretty,
And he had the option to stay with Van and his daughter, and he chose to leave and go.
I think he likes his storage unit.
Well, maybe not just likes, but he probably just sees it as a means to an end. I'll live here until I further my career, and then I'll get someplace.
I don't know if anyone's seen the new Ben Affleck movie, The Accountant, but there was some. Oasis in a storage unit in that movie as well. No spoilers here. Just
okay.
I'm just saying, people like escaping in their storage units.
Sure, there were many storage units in Dexter
and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, where Dexter
storage
and
units
serial killers alike
serve as a real fixture for great drama.
Yeah. It's the place where you put things you don't want to have where everyone can see.
There's a nice old school Outcast song he was listening to,
Jeff,
too.
please.
It was a very chill scene. What, you got a problem? Oh my
No,
God.
that was good.
And before that, with Van, I mean, they both looked very, we got so much of Van being stressed and unhappy and all this stuff that she's going through. Got a nice, albeit short scene of them just hanging out and looking very happy.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly why they can't just be this happy family union.
It is strange.
I don't think Van wants it.
Yeah.
Maybe Ern doesn't either. I don't know.
Yeah.
They must just not love each other in that way.
There's definitely a lot of love there.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to explore in Season 2, as long as we don't explore it at the expense of getting a Darius episode. Because I definitely want that Darius episode, and I think we can fit in both. We have a full season.
I actually think I can answer why it is. I think Ern has probably just really disappointed her one too many times. And
Yeah.
she just, because of that, she has to keep her guard up,
yeah.
at all times with him.
That I think makes a lot of sense. Like, they have a connection and they're very happy, but she knows she's been hurt in the past by his actions, so she has to keep him at arm's length to a certain extent. Let me ask you guys probably the question of the episode, as spoken by the best character, Darius. Is black people's number one problem that they don't know how to have fun, as Darius said?
Did he say that?
He did.
Yeah.
That was his line of the episode, and perhaps the line of the episode.
As a black person, I'm just kidding.
Well, they don't know.
As the opposite of a black
It's
person,
true.
I have no idea.
I think Ern said that he disagrees that that's black people's number one problem, and that's all the commentary that we got on it. So that's something to
So you'd
think
say
about.
Darius is your favorite?
Oh yeah,
Chris?
That's Ern's my favorite.
Wow, and I'm Paperboy.
I think
Safely
I knew
in
that.
Paperboy's
yeah.
corner.
I think I knew that. It was another good episode. Just lots of sort of
just a
quirky laughs
Just a hell of a debut season.
Yeah.
It will be high on my list of favorites for the year.
probably going to have to wait a while, right?
Yeah, probably a year.
Next summer, next fall.
Yeah.
I read it's been written,
Oh, okay.
Really?
but I think that now, Chris, you mentioned last time. I forget what show you were talking about. It was AMC, so I'm mixing up things. But here, you talked about how AMC is they split up the seasons, right?
Yeah, they do
'Cause I
A
haven't
and
watched
B.
an AMC show.
Yeah.
FX doesn't do that. They don't play around.
FX, I was reading that they do sometimes spread stuff out because they like to be very appealing to actors. Like if the actors have a rough schedule, they'll stretch things out and stretch out production times and stuff. And because of the actors' availability in this show, apparently, even though it's already been written, it might be a while until we see it come out.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Now, I would, if it's season 2 delayed or no season 2, as long as season 2 includes a nice Darius episode, I'll definitely wait. And it was great. I mean, I think, I don't know if you guys have any other overall thoughts on the season other than what we've said, but it was good stuff. Some hilarious stuff mixed with some really cool, some really sort of deep social commentary.
Yeah.
And it was a cool mixture.
I think that's a good description
Very-
of the show in general.
Very, very happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I do, Chris. I come out with quality descriptions of the shows.
And you don't even know it.
And I don't even know it. In fact, sometimes I don't even know main characters have been eliminated in a show I've watched. But that's okay. I can keep living in my daydream world where Cuba Gooding Jr. has the opportunity to win me my Scream bet. Any other thoughts on this whole season of Atlanta?
Thumbs way up.
Just
way up.
Gotta love Donald Glover.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's do a couple quick hits, guys.
Sure.
We've got a few things going on this week. Before we get started with the other quick hits, I want to give a quick commentary, and I would like to use this as an open letter to ABC. We have an ongoing issue. Look, we all know that there's not too many podcasts that spend as much time talking about Designated Survivor as this podcast does.
It's true.
ABC, you need to give us a regular schedule. I know that, okay, the presidential debate, okay.
Fine.
Okay. But now it's been the Country Music Awards that have pushed us another week. Now, that's fine. I know that country music and the Country Music Awards are very popular.
Probably do much better ratings-wise than DS could ever hope of doing. So it probably makes a lot of financial sense for AMC to preempt DS.
No.
But not a lot of sense if you want to keep fans.
But, like, spiritual sense, emotional sense, it's
Just
pretty demoralizing.
It's hard for me.
Those who need to talk about DS on a weekly basis.
It's just difficult for us to come here and try to talk about DS when we've had to wait multiple weeks, almost in consecutive weeks. And let's be honest, there's not too much to dig into, okay?
No.
Like, we dug in as far as we could last week.
There's not too much to grapple onto, like, beneath the surface of DS. It's just everything that you need is just right there in front of you.
Some say
to scoff at, to roll your eyes at, to disregard as complete and utter bullshit. It's all just right there. But, I mean, in order for us to do that, we need to actually have an episode to talk about.
ABC, we are here and we are trying to talk DS, and you're making it very hard. That's all I'm saying, and I just hope that moving forward we can try to keep a more regular schedule.
I mean, I'm sure DS will be back next week. Probably the week after that and the week after that. But then Thanksgiving.
Oh, gosh.
And then Christmas will be right around the corner. So we're going to be getting some breaks in the DS schedule.
Do you think we'll get a Christmas episode? You've got me excited now, Mike.
No, I don't think we will.
Guys, I mean,
it's not a joyous. It's not a joyous.
There's the big presidential duty. You have to pardon a turkey every year on Turkey Day. Which one will Kiefer pardon?
Well, actually, we do know because the State of the Union takes place like January, February.
So we're already done with that.
So we're probably in like
Christmas.
March in the world of DS.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm unsure how much time has passed.
But I mean, DS could just completely disregard.
Could do a flash forward.
Completely disregard.
It could be the Strain situation where we've had like 13 seasons, but we've like gone through 48 hours of time. Kiefer's not a stranger to stretching out episodes in almost real time, right?
It's true.
Previous show.
It's true.
But who knows? Look, I just wanted to say that we're here. We're trying to talk DS. Don't make it harder than it already clearly is. Let's talk a little bit. Chris, you're watching Walking Dead, right?
Yep. So one of the things that The Walking Dead does that really annoys me, and annoys a lot of people, is they always create some reason within the storyline to disperse all these characters, and then they're all around everywhere, and then an episode will cover, oh, these two characters over here doing this, these two characters over here doing, oh, Rick's doing that. And you would think of course they did that at the end of last season, as they usually do, but you would think the episode after this momentous double killing that happened, they would pick right back up where it left off. But no, they did not talk about it one time. It was all focused on these characters that had nothing to do with it.
Really?
And it looks like next week is going to be the exact same thing.
What?
This sounds like a show that doesn't give a iota of a shit about its audience and what its audience wants from it. It just does whatever the hell it wants.
I think it's just...
I can't say I'm that regretful that I don't watch it.
I think this specific thing is that it's just they don't have to have these big actors in every episode now. So, like, Rick, the guy that played Rick and the guy that played Daryl weren't in this episode. So it's like that's one last episode they have to be in and shoot. So it makes sense probably that wise, but it's so annoying how, like, this giant thing happens and they just don't even touch on it.
Like, you have all this narrative momentum. You'd think you would devote some time to actually dealing with the ramifications of, like, the enormity of the episode, the premiere.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just goes off and does something else. That sounds extremely frustrating.
Apart from that frustration, as a singular episode itself, it was pretty good. We learned a little bit more about the world. There's all these factions that are growing in this world that could potentially come into play. We did get an update on some characters that weren't involved in the possible killings. What were they doing? There's some good comedy, levity in this episode after the very dark previous episode. So, you know, in some ways it's the same bullshit, but in other ways the future's a little brighter. That's all I wanted to say.
That's, I don't know, it just sounds frustrating.
It is frustrating. It is very frustrating. But at least I know when the episodes are coming on.
Watch it.
Hey.
And there's no paternity cases.
If you're talking about a passionate fan base that you don't want to piss off, Chris, you're talking DS. Because you already heard...
You mean the 4 people on Reddit that talk about DS, including you? You too?
Okay, first of all, there's a passionate DS subreddit that I am a happy part of. And I will never be ashamed of that. And I'm going to be pointing out the very same... Okay, I'm not going to go down the DS route.
It's a touchy subject.
I've already given my thoughts there. It sounds like Walking Dead has its own set of concerns. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Chris, so I know you're also a fan. Now, I haven't caught up with the new season, but I've seen Comedy Bang Bang is back.
Comedy Bang Bang is back. So before I go on that, one last thing about Walking Dead. There is a giant CG moment. Huge CG moment that was crazy. The show doesn't have that much CG. And a CG animal that was completely CG was in this episode. Really? It was pretty crazy to see. And it was pretty well done. Not as well done as like Game of Thrones or something. But
is it a direwolf?
I don't want to ruin what it was.
It was a direwolf.
Actually, it was in the commercials. It was a giant-ass tiger. It was a big-ass tiger. A character kept a tiger as a pet.
Before we get into Comedy Bang Bang, I'd like to introduce an off-the-cuff quick hit that I think we forgot to mention in our rundown.
Sure.
Please.
But I watched episode 2 of Black Mirror this week.
Oh, yes.
Playtest. I think we can get into a little bit about that.
Sure.
Jeff, did you watch?
I did not, but I'd love to hear if you guys have been enjoying it.
So Playtest was the episode directed by friend of the show, Dan Trachtenberg.
And how is he a friend of the show?
Wonderful.
Because one time he read my question on his podcast.
Chris has been a long time fan of Trachtenberg.
Maybe one day we'll read his question on ours.
Yeah.
He seems like a great guy.
Dan Trachtenberg is, in 2008, the second person I ever followed on Twitter. Jeff Canada being the first one.
Wow,
8
and you
years ago.
still haven't followed me.
No.
Thank
well,
you
for
so
a little
much.
bit, and then you stopped. Anyway, so Playtest. What'd you think?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was directed well, I think. It was...
tremendous direction.
Yeah.
From Trachtenberg.
But the story got a little up its own ass a little bit.
I'm noticing a pattern with this season of Black Mirror. It takes a long time to sort of introduce, like, what it's actually trying to do. Like, so much of the first half of the episode is devoted to setup. And I don't think that setup was all that captivating to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time it really sort of revealed itself or what it was going for, it was pretty cool, but it just felt like I'm not sure it was worth the... I don't want to call it a slog, but it just...
All the work that had to be done to set up.
Yeah, just
characters.
Had to do a lot of work to get us to where we eventually got. Yeah, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't one of my favorite Black Mirrors.
It was the most, like, on-the-nose, like, horror movie Black Mirror. Like, it was just like,
yeah,
hey, here's some scary creatures. Yeah.
Moments.
Also, as a huge gamer, there's so many Easter eggs in that episode. So many references to different video games. So definitely watch that and try to pick out as many as you can.
Very cool. I've got to check it out. I've really sounds
like
I'm missing out.
Why not?
Dive in with any old episode.
Yeah. So on to Comedy Bang Bang.
Just a quick another thought on Black Mirror. Black Mirror?
Yep.
Chris, I think I saw you posting to our Instagram page earlier.
Yes.
Is that correct? And just a little Trachtenberg connection. What were you posting a picture of earlier?
Oh, it was John Goodman on a motorcycle.
John Goodman, star of recent Hollywood hit 10 Cloverfield Lane, directed by
Danny T himself.
There you go. So there's just a little connection Chris didn't even know he was making while he was taking a picture of my ornately framed photograph of John Goodman and Roseanne riding a motorcycle, signed by only John Goodman. But I am sorry to interrupt, Chris. Please
check that out on our Instagram.
Please
if you want to see the image that he's talking about.
To, and that's Screening Club at Instagram,
yep.
right?
Yep.
Great. Chris.
Okay, so Comedy Bang Bang, it's one of the funniest shows on television that I don't think a lot of people watch.
Never seen it.
It's a half-scripted, half-improv, fake talk show. I don't even know if you know anything about it, Mike.
It's a great show.
So
is that is Adam Scott involved in that?
No, not
That's
really.
Is that documentary now?
He might be involved in the documentary now. Anyway, it's on the IFC channel. But the way it works is it's talk show, and two celebrities come on. One is interviewed like a normal talk show, and the other is playing a character that is a fake person being interviewed that's kind of improvs for the second half. By the way, it's hosted by Scott Aukerman. It's extremely funny, but the reason I want to talk about it is that it's coming back for its last 10 episodes.
Ever?
Yep, ever.
Wow.
So it'll be really cool to see, and there's going to be some surprises. Some old characters are coming back that I really love. Everyone watch that. It's
now, who's doing the music this season?
So yeah, the band leader every season, it was Reggie Watts for I think 4 seasons.
Great stuff.
Then Kid Cudi came in for a season. He was really good, but then he left, and now it's Weird Al Yankovic.
Still Weird Al.
Yep, Weird Al.
And how's he doing?
He's doing all right. You can't beat Reggie, and Kid Cudi had started building chemistry, and I got the sense from this show is based off Scott Aukerman's podcast by the same name, and I got the sense on that podcast that Kid Cudi, they wanted him to be for multiple seasons, and he kind of bailed on them. But they're all right. No one can beat Reggie. Reggie's coming back in one of the final 10 episodes. So
as a special
as a guest, yeah, as a guest.
Now, Reggie left to do the music for a late show?
Yeah, who's the British guy? James Corden. Yeah, he's the band leader on that show now.
Okay. I'm only familiar with James Corden's constant onslaught of carpool karaoke videos.
I've never seen a single carpool karaoke video.
But I'm sure you've seen.
I think I might have seen one.
You've seen that they exist, though,
yes,
right? Because they literally cannot be stopped. Apparently,
They're
seen a
very
couple.
popular.
That's the thing about late night now. It's all what can you chop up and put up on YouTube and get
It's
3 million views.
Jimmy Fallon's the king of it.
Friend of the show, Jimmy Fallon.
That's true. Chris has been on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Jimmy Fallon interviewed me. Yes.
So that's a story for another day, though. But a friend of the show, Jimmy Fallon. Good stuff. I'll be checking out Comedy Bang Bang. Mike, you've been watching The Good Place?
Yeah.
How's it going?
The show that I talked about a few weeks ago, recommended for you all to watch. I don't think you listened to me. I don't think either of you.
No, what? A couple of other people. I haven't watched it. I see the look of surprise and delight on your face when I first started talking. No, I haven't watched it. But a couple of other people have mentioned to me that I should watch it. So you've been enjoying it?
Yeah, it just wrapped. It didn't wrap the season. I think it's going to be a 13-episode season, but it just ended. Its 9th episode, and I guess it's taking 2 months off for network TV. Man, we're just.
What network is this?
NBC. Just the scheduling of network TV is impossible.
Man, yeah. we're complaining about DS taking two out of 3 weeks off.
But anyways,
The Good Place taking a month off. You say?
I think 2 months off. It's coming back in January. Wow. But anyways,
yeah,
it's just revealed itself to be a really terrific show. Ted Danson, I think, is giving one of the finest comedic performances in all of TV. He just sucks so much. Not sucks, but he just emits so much joy and charm in just every single line of dialogue that he delivers, and it's just something to behold. It really is. And just all the performances. Adam Scott has just the Ted Danson character is the architect, the leader of the Good Place, that spiritual afterlife that all the characters currently reside in. On the flip side, Adam Scott is playing the leader of the Bad Place, who has come to the Good Place to take away what's her name? Krista Bell's character, who we found out was put into the Good Place by mistake. She's actually a terrible person who belongs in the Bad Place. Adam Scott has come to reclaim her, and that has sort of set up a lot of fun. Did
he spend all the Bad Place's money on a extravagant ice rink?
Nice. He may have. I don't know.
Sorry. Little Parks and Rec callback there.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it sounds.
But the show is just so funny. It's so charming, so witty, and just has a lot to say about our society and our world. And I can't recommend it enough. It's great.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds good. I've seen a couple of the little promos and stuff. It definitely seems interesting.
Maybe in its 2-month hiatus, either of you or both could devote some time to it.
That's probably what they're hoping.
Yeah,
probably what they're
that's
hoping.
a definite maybe.
It's about 23-minute episodes each, 21 minutes, whatever.
Now,
probably pretty easy watch.
Definitely. No, it sounds good. You don't have to sell me. You don't have to sell me. Well, apparently you do, because I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Now, just a couple of really quick comments here. I know. Do you guys both watch the Bill Simmons show?
I
watched it off and
the
on.
first couple episodes, and just sort of there was too much on Wednesday nights for me to
If I like the guest, I'll
even
watch.
care.
No, you won't have to worry about that anymore, right? It's been canceled.
Yeah, it's done.
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm really surprised because when Bill Simmons left ESPN and it was announced that he would be signing with like this enormous lucrative deal with HBO, like you had to have thought he was going to be like a fixture on their channel for a time to come. And
You've got to suck unbelievably hard to get canceled on HBO.
the ratings were like less than 100,000 per episode.
My God.
Yeah, it just was never. In the few episodes I watched, maybe it got better. I don't know. It just never felt like an essential viewing to me.
Yeah.
It was just very plain. It could have existed on any media platform. It didn't feel like an HBO caliber
Just fluff.
TV show.
It's could have been anything.
But I guess he's still under contract, so they're going to do something with him eventually.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like you look at the two other like main fixtures on that show, on that channel, Real Time with Bill Maher, Last Week Tonight, like this Bill Simmons show never even came close to sustaining that level of quality.
Well, it's too bad, and hopefully they can put something together. If anyone can do it, it's HBO. In slightly happier news, I am very much looking forward to. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in years, but
You've been missing out on some really great comedic TV.
I've heard that this season has been really good.
Yeah, I mean, any season of SNL is going to come with its peaks and valleys, highs and lows. But
Well,
for me, just the joy that I get out of watching it is just watching these immensely talented, like young comedic performers just sort of become stars right in front of us. And
that is really cool. Yeah,
and this cast has some really great comedic voices and talent.
I think.
So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I will be coming back for the November 12th episode, which is going to be hosted by Dave Chappelle, who I love, musical guest, a reunion of A Tribe Called Quest. This is going to be a good episode. I mean, come on. Chappelle's Show, one of my favorites all time. Are you talking comedy gold? You're talking Chappelle's Show. Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I am really pumped up, and I will absolutely be watching, and we'll catch up on it.
And that's going to be the episode after the election. So I think we're going to be getting some great political content there.
That should be good. It's probably going to be packed. I hope they do some cool stuff, because Dave Chappelle really hasn't been in the public eye. I mean, this is going to be the most high-profile thing he's done in years and years.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll be looking forward to that. And let's talk about something that seems like it's probably not going to get canceled on HBO, Westworld. Pretty deep stuff again this week. Can you guys give me some initial thoughts on this week's episode of Westworld?
Well, this episode entitled Contrapasso. Did you guys look up what that meant?
Nope.
Did you, Jeff?
Please tell us.
Please, yes.
Well, I thought that maybe this might frame some of what you thought of the episode, because I looked it up. Contrapasso is ancient Italian, so it's not modern Italian, it's old Italian. Mm-hmm. That means suffering the opposite, which is something to do with Dante's Inferno. So it's the idea that in hell, in the bad place, you go, and the punishment that you have to... Bad joke?
Just a good place reference, Mike.
I know. Mike didn't seem amused by my good place reference in our Westworld review. Anyway, the idea is that when you go to hell, the punishment that you have to deal with in hell mirrors the sins that put you in hell to begin with.
Interesting.
Think about that.
That's what that means?
Yep. Think about that.
I just thought it was a cool word, you know?
Yeah, I didn't really think much about it.
I was like, ooh, contrapasso. That's interesting. So that sort of puts things in a certain light. What did you both think?
I thought it was a great episode. It didn't really push. I'm kind of feeling the way you're feeling, Mike, about last episode, where it doesn't push. Maybe you didn't feel this way, and I just made that up. There's not a lot of forward momentum, and it's kind of, we're just getting these little. Each story just pushes forward a little bit. But the thing I loved about this episode was the Ford and Men in Black meeting in that bar.
That was great.
What'd you think, Nick?
I thought it was fine. There's still just something in the way for me personally, just sort of preventing me from just going all in on this show. Mm-hmm. There isn't just. I'm not latching on to, maybe there's not like a singular character that I identify with, that I care about, that I'm rooting for. There's just, I don't know. Like if you watch like the first few episodes of, say, for example, Game of Thrones, immediately you're introduced to 3 or 4 characters and storylines that you immediately identify with and care about and are rooting for. And then if you take a look at this show, I don't think that's there just yet.
Sure.
There's just a lot of interesting things going on that sort of speak to us intellectually, but just not for me. There isn't that part that speaks to me emotionally yet. But overall, it's still like consistently entertaining on a week-to-week basis, and I am enjoying it. But I'm still just waiting for something more.
I think that with Game of Thrones, it was probably easier to come at it because, it's based off of this
whole universe of books.
And they have all that to go off of. With this, they're basing it, sort of off the world of an okay 70s movie or whatever. So they're sort of having to build it up from there. There is a ton of stuff going on, though. I think Dolores is going to come through for you, though, as someone to cheer for.
Yeah, for me, the 2 most interesting characters that have been presented to us are Dolores and Maeve, but they're robots, they're AI. Like there's still there's that part that is blocking me. probably a lot of other people from really connecting with them, because at any point their memories, their minds, their journeys can just be reset to default mode, unless what they're really going for is something a lot more grand and eloquent than that.
I think that sort of puts their struggle. You're going through that same struggle with them. They might break through, Mike.
Yeah.
And if what we're seeing with William really is like a plotline from 30 years in the past, then that means what we're seeing with Dolores, like when she's sort of taking these leaps, these leaps in her journey, and all this growth that we're seeing with her character, eventually is she going to be just reset back to same old good old Dolores?
I think so. I think that if that is true, I think we had a couple of things in this episode that are pushing more towards that being true. I think it's going to make it all the more intense when she does find what she's looking for, because she's already gone through this. Oh, maybe she almost made it, and then they reset her back. It's just
that is like a
ongoing
kind
struggle.
of a tragic layer to her character. But we're not really spending much time, if that is the case with present day Dolores. We're spending a lot with past Dolores.
I think some of what we think is past Dolores is actually present day. I think there's some weird stuff going on with how they're filming things, and like it just, I'm very confused as to what is in the present and what's in the past. If anything is in the past, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. But to touch on your point, Chris, about the Man in Black Ford meeting, what do you guys think about that? They definitely seem to be more familiar than maybe I had initially thought that they would be. Like, it seems like more of a familiarity than the director of a park and a ongoing guest would probably have. They seem to know each other more.
Yeah, and it seems like the Man in Black knew who Arnold was. So I thought when Arnold was talked about before, it's Arnold, right? I know I got the name wrong before.
It is.
I said Alan before. When Arnold was talked about before, it seemed like not a lot of people even knew he existed, and the company kind of pushed his incident underneath the rug. And the Man in Black knows who Arnold is, and Ford didn't seem to mind that he knew that. And I thought it was interesting in that conversation, Ford, it's like Ford knows about the maze, and he wants people to find the maze, and he wants people to have this final conclusion, which is making me think that he's kind of in self-destruct mode, where he has this grand plan for the park, and he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He's not even caring about the park even making money anymore. He has this vision, and he's going to finish that vision. And somehow the maze plays into this.
That's interesting. It's gotten to the point now, they're really shoving that maze down our throats. It's not it's not even attempting to be subtle. It's just everywhere. It's just to the point where...
Well, I keep saying it every week, but it is really true. There's so many things going on in this show that could easily fall apart and just could be complete failures. But if it all sticks the landing and comes together, it'll be like one of the most amazing things we've seen in a while on TV. But it just has to stick that landing.
How'd we all feel about that mass robot orgy?
God, that was a crazy place. And I was just the amount of extras there. And so
they got in trouble for apparently, like, during the filming of that scene, just in that they were asking all these extras to perform these like extremely explicit sexual acts, simulated acts.
Yeah, something about that.
I guess that was in violation of just how much you can ask of an extra.
Yeah,
that was clearly, God, the resources spent on that scene. Like, there were so many.
It was a lot, and I'm not sure it was like entirely worth it in the end. Like it was just kind of there. It was furniture.
That's HBO.
I
do
mean,
you want?
I thought it was really cool to see this, like, they really went for it. Like this wild town that's on the edge of, what we've gotten used to in the world.
Well, it's obviously supposed to mirror Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom in the Bible, just this town of complete hedonism and just anything bad can happen here. If you want to do something bad, it's in here.
It was sort of funny seeing William and Dolores just like sort of sitting there amongst all this crazy shit, just like neither of them wants to take part in anything, and they're all just sort of
They're very uncomfortable.
It was really
well, it's sort of that was kind of cool too, because Dolores is there because as a robot, if these visitors choose you, you have to go with them. It's in their programming, so she's just stuck there. And then it kind of felt like he was the robot to his friend. It's his friend there, so he has to be there.
Yeah,
so that was kind of cool.
Chris. Now, another interesting thing that happened in this episode, and again, in the past timeline, whether that's happening or not, the hosts were kicking the shit out of Logan on multiple occasions. Like he looked like he was about to get choked out before William shot the guy in the back. Like, I guess what that made me think is that was that happening because this is an older version of the park where the robots can do that stuff, or was it because they're on the outlying parts of the park where crazier stuff happens?
I've seen it speculated that it was because he had his like pain tolerance set so high so that robots could do that kind of stuff to him.
Yeah, that seems crazy.
Bring him to the brink of death without actually killing him.
Well, remember he was looking in a bad shape, and then his friend could have saved him. And then when he didn't, he smiled for a second.
I was almost thinking, like, is Logan going to die at the end? When, like, the last we see of him is him being, like, beaten down by those new Confederates or whatever.
Yeah, but that smile made me say, he's all right. He knows
he's going to be okay.
Yeah. That smile made me think he's a crazy
Would it be the worst thing in the world if Logan were to die? He's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, I did find it cool that his company that he works for was trying to buy out Westworld. Thought that was a cool idea.
I think it's so that whole thread, like, and then we get the super assy, like him just shitting all over William, like in the outside in their real lives, like, what an ass. What do you guys think about Lawrence, who has been the Man in Black's companion, appearing in now both of these storylines, seemingly appearing like the day after being hung upside down and completely having the shit beat out of him and drained of all of his blood, appearing in the William storyline?
I took that as near confirmation that we're dealing with two different timelines.
Yeah.
Might not be, though. I mean,
it's possible.
There are other options.
He was yanked out of the world, cleaned up, put back in, but it just didn't sort of jive with what we had previously learned of Lawrence.
Yeah. I mean, when we first saw Lawrence, he was about to be executed, so I guess he's this outlaw. Could have been captured in some storyline, I guess. The other option I've seen is they could reuse models.
His personality seemed different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting. Made me think. Yeah, so you think maybe he's changed roles, Mike?
Yeah. Like in the past, he had a different role.
Very interesting. He's a good actor. I'm happy we're getting a good spoonful of him.
Yep.
Now, what do you guys think about, well, probably the two biggest, things that we saw in this episode were some sort of tracking device that was inside of the woodcutter.
The laser-based satellite uplink.
Laser-based satellite uplink. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Seemed a little bit far-fetched that they just didn't know that this gigantic laser thing was inside one of the hosts.
Well, I think what that scene was saying is that there's a mole or someone within the
Someone's up to something.
someone's up to
nefarious.
something. Someone that would have the power to do that is up to something.
What do they really need to know that the woodcutter in one of these storylines would have this information?
Well, I was thinking it could be since they introduced that rival companies are trying to buy out Westworld, that it would corporate espionage is going on, where some company is paying an employee of Westworld to give information to that company.
Okay, that could make sense. Yeah, I think
that's what I thought, at least.
Yeah, it just I'm definitely interested. It just seemed a little bit far fetched to me. I get, it's got to be an inside job, I guess.
Yeah, an inside job, but for who though? It could be the board not thinking that what's going on is on the up and up, and they want some direct information because they know Ford's not giving them
that
kind of information they need. It could be.
But what are they getting? I guess maybe when the woodcutter gets brought in for maintenance or whatever, they could collect info.
Yeah,
right?
but also it's probably not just the woodcutter. It's probably X% of all Westworld hosts have them in there.
True. Yeah, so that's something to think about. And then we also get Dolores shoots other hosts. Which she did once before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she really was in badass mode, and
which is why it would just kind of suck if we progress Dolores in her journey up until that point, and then it just gets reset.
Yeah.
Unless what if
back to Farm Girl?
What if they think that they reset her, but she's really just biding her time?
Mike, remember, as Dr. Ford said, somewhere under all those updates, he's still there, perfectly preserved. He was talking about Arnold, but still. Your mind is a walled garden. Even death cannot touch the flowers blooming there, Mike. So remember, even if she gets reset...
You set me straight.
His famous quote right before he died. Jeff, you didn't see that one? When Ford died?
Right
God, 3 for 3 today.
Dr. Ford.
3 for 3 today. Wow.
Oh my God. Pigman's getting around to these different programs. And then the final shot of the episode with Maeve waking up.
Yeah.
Love it. That was great.
She's been enlightened.
Love Maeve.
I do.
Big Maeve fan. That's your girl.
Yep.
What's she gonna say? What's she gonna say to?
What was her exact quote? She was like, "We're gonna have a talk" or something.
Yeah, it was something about we have something to talk about.
I think it's probably she's probably gonna get the lowdown of what exactly she is, and then she's gonna be like, "Put me back out into the park without resetting me."
Ooh.
But he's we know that this guy is working on his computer. He's doing some techno things. Couldn't he just try to be reset? Blah, 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 blah.
He could really.
Unless she's been really enlightened and she's past that now. Doesn't even matter.
I mean, if she's waking up, she might not be able to be reset.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. So that'll be something to.
He could just try to kill her as well.
Or she could try to kill him.
It's true.
Anything could happen. I'll be looking forward to it. Any other thoughts moving forward with Westworld?
Excited to learn more.
I just hope it can take that next step at some point.
So, for next week, guys, sadly, we will not be watching Atlanta.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But we will have American Horror Story. We'll have our Westworld. And we'll have, hopefully, DS will be back. Hopefully they'll give us a lot to talk about. And we'll still have plenty of other stuff. We'll have the Walking Dead, right, Chris?
Yep, a lot of quick hits.
We'll have... it'll be 2 weeks away, but we'll have... I know we're going to be talking about that SNL, Dave Chappelle. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it.
You should get ready and watch this week's SNL. Tonight's episode.
Do you really need to get ready?
No, but just to get you in the feel.
Watch it.
Get
back in that
you can be
that
familiar
headspace.
with the cast.
We got Cumberbatch on tonight.
Oh,
really?
Gotta love a Cumberbatch.
I just saw Doctor Strange.
Oh, very nice.
Last night. It was, it was good. Wasn't huge on the ending. That's all.
Okay.
See it, Chris?
No, I'm seeing it tomorrow. I heard it was really good in 3D. So I want to see it in 3D.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a 3D fan, Chris. And know what I'll do? I'm going to prepare my season commentary on The Strain. So, Mike, if you don't want something ruined for you, please either...
That's an ultimatum.
Shed your, protect your ears or do some watching.
Oh, boy. It's a tall order.
It's not the best. So I'll do that. We'll keep catching up on our other stuff, but guys, let me know, Mike. Where can we find you online?
On Twitter @linguistics_ and on ScreeningClub.com.
Chris?
Twitter @thatmorris, ThatMorris, and ScreeningClub.com.
You can find me at therealjeffmoore.com and all of us, ScreeningClub.com, Screening Club on Twitter, Screening Club on Instagram. We are around, guys. You can find us. Remember to rate and subscribe. Let us know what you think. And if you have any comments or thoughts at all, please shoot us an email at screeningclub@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on what we're watching. And as we mentioned, you can also join us on ScreeningClub.com for more articles, insight, and to share and engage with us even more. So please enjoy your week of TV watching, and we will catch back up with you next week.
Bye, everyone. And remember to vote. God bless.